Before I begin today's video, if you want one of these beautiful flags that are behind me, prefab or custom made, go to my friends over at BHE Designs. A link for them will be in the description box, so check them on out, order what you want, and tell them that ABL sent you. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we gotta talk about Dave Chappelle's new Netflix special 846. Now that number 846 refers to a few different things that I'll talk about in the special, and if you want to see that full thing in its entirety, I'll link to it in the box. But I think what most of us will know 846 is the amount of time that Derek Chauvin had his knee on the neck of George Floyd up there in Minneapolis, Minnesota. George Floyd's death after the knee caused all these riots all over the United States and parts of the world. Now, straight away, I gotta say it because it's kind of the elephant in the room, the trillion-pound elephant in the room. This special from Dave Chappelle was not comedy. It simply was not comedy, all right? And don't get it twisted. I'm a Dave Chappelle fan. I may not agree with him politically, but if he has a comedy special that's good, I'ma enjoy it because it's good. If it's not good, then I'm gonna say it's not good. This one was not a comedy special, so I can't judge it based upon being funny or not funny. I mean, seriously, there might have been one, maybe two times where I smiled throughout the entirety of this so-called comedy special. It was not comedy. Even from those that liked the subject matter, which I did not like the subject matter of this, but I'll get to that in a minute. But even from those that liked the subject matter, they said that it was not funny, it was not meant to be funny, it's not comedy, but we needed this. Basically, that's what they're saying. Now, I've not read or watched all the reviews because I don't want to get anybody's thoughts in my mind. This is just straight from my heart how I feel about the special. I watched the whole thing in its entirety from the front to back. I was very attentive. He had my full attention. Now, this was just generally about police brutality. That's what it was, you know, straight from the jump. And by the way, I think this might have been the first concert in North America, you know, since the virus officially. If I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments below. It's most certainly Dave Chappelle's first since the virus, probably even before that. But he was at this outdoor, I guess you would call it arena or a park or something. They had chairs set up outside, and it was at night. I didn't know it at first, but I had to, you know, watch the beginning of it, watch the whole thing. I'm like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. Because you see clips floating around. It's kind of hard to tell that it's outside because you're not thinking that, but it was outside. And once you're watching it, you're seeing like little butterflies or bats. I don't know what they were flying around, you know, so you know it was outside. So everybody got on like Dave Chappelle masks. They have on black masks with the Chappelle logo on the front of it. But Chappelle did not have on the mask. He was kind of far away from the crowd, but they were able to hear him. He was able to have the show. Now, he started off kind of rocky. He was like, okay, I'll talk about George Floyd, I guess. And after a little bit, it kind of putzing around, he got to George Floyd. This is where things kind of went off the rails, and they did not get back on the rails, and it never became a comedy special. And by the way, I think even Dave Chappelle acknowledged this. In the description box of the actual YouTube video, there is a message from Dave that says, sorry for putting this all unrefined, but basically I got to put it out. You know, so it was not a refined set. He knows that it probably wasn't really good. He just wanted to get it out there because of the message. But anyway, he's talking about George Floyd, and then he went into this whole emotional tirade about 8 minutes and 46 seconds. He had his knee on his neck, and there was no joke there. There was no punchline. He was just talking about how, you know, this was atrocious, this was ridiculous, and this is what we got to talk about all the time, and police brutality, and, you know, it was all kind of stuff like that. And then he went and talked about other people. He brought out Trayvon Martin, although Trayvon Martin did not get killed by a cop. He got killed by a guy that looked kind of sort of white, who was not actually white, in George Zimmerman. So I guess that counts. And then he was talking about other people. I think he talked about Tamir Rice and what's the guy's name? Crawford up there in Ohio, where the show was at and where Dave Chappelle lives. He was just talking about a lot of black victims of police brutality and how this causes them to go into a rage. One part where I felt he got kind of dangerous when he was trying to like say this is okay. He didn't say it was okay. Don't get that twisted. He was kind of like trying to give an explanation why you would have Micah Xavier Johnson out there in Dallas, Texas, killing those police officers. Okay, and the other guy in Baton Rouge that killed the officer or officers. You know, he was basically trying to say, since we're under siege and we're downtrodden and depressed. That's why we go out here and we go postal and do things we shouldn't be doing. At one part, he started talking about Chris Dorner. Now, he was kind of like giving Chris Dorner a lot of excuses and passes. And if you forgot who Chris Dorner was, this guy was on the LAPD and he got fired. Dave Chappelle said that the reason why he got fired is because he filed a complaint against a white female coworker for doing something improper on the job. And then as a result of that, he got fired. Now, I don't know if that's true or false. I really don't know. But whatever the case may be, after that whole thing happened, he wrote a manifesto in which Dave Chappelle's name was in it. And he said that he liked Dave Chappelle, said he was a genius. But anyway, Chris Dorner went on this whole shooting rampage. He killed 4 people and injured 3 officers. I'm not sure if an officer was killed. I think he was killing like innocent people. Like he was just not a guy you would want to look up to at all. This guy was really crazy. Office rocker. The manifesto was like 11,000 words. So this guy had some serious issues, and it was probably good that he got fired. If what happened with the complaint and you getting fired set you off like that, then you shouldn't have been on the force to begin with. We talk about police brutality and bad cops, but obviously this guy was not going to be a good cop. If you got that kind of mind that's so weak and fragile to the point where you snap and kill 4 innocent people, just shoot everybody that is around, then what are we doing? Breaking into houses, shooting random innocent people. I mean, this guy was not good. But he was saying that the reason why he did that is because of, the fact that he got fired from the LAPD and the white female coworker that he told on allegedly and got fired as a result. So he's basically trying to blame her for that. I thought that was really dangerous and really ridiculous to get into this whole thing about trying to excuse black criminality because you're oppressed by the white man. That's kind of what I got from it. Not sure if that's what his goal was. Maybe he was trying to say, we're driven to that. Whatever it is, I did not like it. And then it got into a point where he was disrespecting Candace Owens. I didn't like that at all. Called her, the B word and stanky this, stanky that. I didn't like that at all. And the reason why he said that is because what she said about George Floyd being a criminal, not being a model citizen. And of course, like a lot of emotional black folks, Dave Chappelle was trying to say, oh, well, the reason that Candace Owens said that is because she's talking to white America and she wants them to think that it's okay that he died or he got killed, whatever you want to believe, because of his criminal background. Nobody says that. She didn't say that. She said explicitly in her video that she's not saying that. All she was saying is that we should not uplift him to the point of being some kind of martyr like he's Jesus Christ. People say, oh, don't nobody do that. I can't tell. I'm seeing all kind of things, all kind of pictures and murals of George Floyd next to Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. You got angel wings on them. I mean, all kind of stuff. So she's talking about that. Even your man Joe Biden said this.
But even Dr. King's assassination did not have the worldwide impact that George Floyd's death did.
And people actually believe that. Do you think Joe Biden got that just from his own brain? Or were people trying to tell, like, was he told that by those that are around him? Some of the younger people, your Simone Sanders of the world, okay? His death was more impactful than Martin Luther King. That is the kind of mentality that we're trying to avoid because people like George Floyd and many others get all kind of passes and excuses made for them, which enables that kind of behavior to persist. And Dave Chappelle was doing the exact same thing. Dave Chappelle did the exact same thing that Candace Owens was preaching against. Okay, you want to uplift a Chris Dorner, Michael Xavier Johnson, all these people. For what though? They don't deserve to be uplifted. If there's an injustice there, if they were killed unjustly, then you look into that. And if anybody is guilty of any kind of crime, you lock them up. That's how it's supposed to happen. Okay, but you don't just give them all kind of passes. And then he was talking about Laura Ingraham, and he was triggered about her telling LeBron to shut up and dribble because all things that LeBron did for Ohio. And don't get it twisted. I think LeBron is a great philanthropist. He does a lot for Ohio. His personality is a different story, so I digress. My whole point is that he is a great philanthropist. But he's mad at Laura Ingraham for saying shut up and dribble, but that's just his ignorance. And a lot of us operate on ignorance and don't care about being educated, okay? Dave Chappelle even said, I don't care what he did. He shouldn't have died. So this dude could have been, kidnapping kids, killing them, chopping them up, selling them to foreign markets. And that's fine. You don't care what he did, right? Oh, okay. See, that's the whole point. You're thinking with, you're not thinking with your brain when you should be. You're thinking with your heart. You're thinking with your feelings, and men can't operate like that. But anyway, back to Laura Ingraham. He's mad at her for saying shut up and dribble, but he doesn't know that she has a book called Shut Up and Dance, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. And her whole thing over her whole career, since the book came out, or even before then, was to tell different celebrities to shut up and do X, Y, and Z because anybody trying to hear your opinion. Isn't that the equivalent to what you said, Dave Chappelle, about anybody trying to hear from Ja Rule right now at a time like this? Isn't that what you said? Didn't you say that in this very special? You see, when you get your feelings caught up in the thing, you're not thinking clearly or logically, you get discombobulated. You contradict yourself. You say one thing, and that's fine, but when someone else says it, it's not fine because you don't take time to even understand what they're saying. So as I close, I'm going to say this. Dave Chappelle, still one of my top comedians of all time, okay? I can disagree with what he did in this non-comedic, quote-unquote, special on Netflix and still, like, compartmentalize. That's over there, that's that, but his body of work that is behind him, I mean, nobody can really touch that. The Chappelle Show, classic. The Killing Me Softly, all the other specials, classic. But this one right here, I just didn't like. The one that came out, I think it was last year before that, it was good. I did not agree with everything you said in it, but at least it was comedy. And I support his right to do comedy. I support his right to say anything he wants. He can do this. I don't have to agree with anything he said, and that's fine. And I still say he has the right to say it. I have a right to say what I say about what he did. He has his right to put it out there. That's totally fine. But I feel like I need to say something about the irresponsibility that was in it, you know, trying to uplift the criminals and give him a pass. I don't like that, okay? He can say it, and then I can say that I don't like it and speak against it. That's pretty much it. So I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Did you like Dave Chappelle's new special, 846? That's your viewpoint. Let me know why in the comments below. Or did you not like it? Was it too much filled with emotion? No, you got real personal talking about the 846 number. He said that's the moment he was born on his birth certificate. And there's also, I think, something about his grandfather going to the White House or his great-grandfather going to the White House, you know, or 1846, something like that. So the number was really important to him. He got really caught up in his feelings. You know, was he too much into his feelings? Was he appropriate to be in his feelings and be raw and emotional like that so people can hear it and feel it? You know, like I said, I didn't like anything that was in it. I thought it was pretty irresponsible, actually. But hey, that's his right. You know, you gotta love America, freedom of speech, right? But freedom of speech goes both ways. He could say that and I can say this. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I gotta say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.